Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. This is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. Today, we're talking about trails. It's summertime. Regardless, we're in Florida. 24/7, you can get out on our trails, and we're known for that. And I have two city employees with us that help to provide and offer these incredible outdoor activities for you. Chris Smith is an urban planner. He's been with the city for over 25 years, and he's in our planning department. We have Robert Bell. Robert Bell is the director of parks, and he is been with the city quite as long, almost as long as well, 32 years. Okay. And so we thought it'd be a great time of the year, July, to talk about the opportunities that we have out there for trails in our wonderful city of Sanford. So let's start. I know there's plenty of them. Chris, you've been involved since day one, really, in the planning of these trails. Do you want to just give us an overarching picture about the trail system in our city and access and all of that?
Sure. Thank you very much, Lisa. When I first got here, I did notice that the walkability of Sanford was lacking, and that was mainly from the older style streetscapes and lack of no trails. But the city of Sanford, was really poised and blessed to be located along the Riverwalk, along the river itself, which is Lake Monroe, which is part of the St. Johns River. There was a good venue there to look at. But one of the things that we were looking at was the walkability of Sanford just was not there. And so we concentrated on one of the easiest ways to do that is streetscapes, where you're putting the pedestrians in charge of the cars, and instead of vice versa, and the Riverwalk itself. You have a wonderful vista and venue there to be able to provide some connections there. And that's one of the things that we typically look at. So Sanford really didn't have any trails. They had a few sidewalks there and there. It was more of a car-centric type of a city, which is very typical in a lot of cities. So a lot of these cities have embraced some of the things that you could do for walkabilities. One of the first trails that we certainly looked at, I was actually kind of sketching the Riverwalk Trail in 1996 on my dining room table.
Wow.
And like in a scroll form. So it was very exciting to be part of it. It actually started out as just a sidewalk with Metro Plan Orlando as one of our major partners. And then several sections along the way was part of DOT. So we were able to design and create one of the longest freshwater shoreline riverwalks in actually Florida.
Yeah.
And it's almost a stretching of 5 miles. So it's been a well-used trails. And since then, with the Parks Department and several other colleagues, we were able to complete a couple of other great trails that we have. And of course, the Terwilliger Trail that connects our southern communities to the Riverwalk that runs north and south.
Yeah.
But basically, the Riverwalk Trail runs east and west. And then also, another micro trail is in the Goldsboro community, which will help bring in some of those, folks from that area and make connections for those trails. So, we're very pleased to at least be able to expo those 3 trails.
Right.
And then we also are partnering right now with the county as they're just now starting the Lake Monroe Trail Loop.
Right.
That's a very, very important, critical trail that will connect Sanford all the way to 415 as a multi-use trail. So that literally will connect the Riverwalk Trail, make it extremely much more longer. And as you know, the Riverwalk Trail connects up to the Volusia County and the Seminole County Trail System, which is part of the coast-to-coast trail across Florida, which is over 210 miles.
Yeah, I mean that's something to put a feather in our cap, as I was saying, because that we're a state where outdoors is really all year long. Basically, is a great activity, being outdoors for people, and maintaining those trails and all of that is something that is put into consideration too, and that's where Robert and his crew and his team are very involved in that, obviously, and because we can build them, but then they need to be maintained just a lot, and that the city of Sanford also does that, is responsible for that.
And Robert and his crew do a great job. They view basically the Riverwalk Trail as more of a park
Yeah, a
So it's
linear
really
park.
like a linear park.
Yeah.
And it is connecting Fort Mellon Park, and on the other end, it actually connects the zoo. So he
Yeah.
actually views that and maintains those as well as any park that we have.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
actually, Robert, it's Parks and Rec month, isn't it? So
it
this is
is.
kind
It
of a
is
good.
Parks and Rec Month, and the trails are something that we're proud of, and our guys do a lot of work, and it is a lot of work. I mean, if you think of what we're doing, just for mowing or edging, on a 5 mile trail. Is more than 5 miles because you've got several sections that you have to edge one way, come back the other. So there are 10 to 15 miles of edging,
Right.
just in one section of a trail.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've got a little over 6 miles of trails just within Sanford itself
Yeah.
between the three trails.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of maintenance. We do have groups that come out on our trails. They help us out with picking up trash, things like that. We appreciate the public's help on it. We get phone calls when we have issues because
Yeah.
it is a large area. I think the public takes a lot of pride in our trails as well, which is great, and it's a partnership that we really enjoy and helps keep Sanford looking beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's it's just again that the natural beauty of the city too is an attraction, and we're a destination, and it's not just the downtown area. There's other things to do here that we like to share and promote. And there's a lot that goes into that, the planning behind these things, and then the maintenance of that. And we want the quality of life and for our visitors and our residents to be there. They have access to that, and so I think it's really wonderful. And we see a lot of people out there all day long, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
City Hall's right
Yeah,
next to
it's,
Riverwalk.
in the past, it really wasn't the city of Sanford really wasn't a day visit. People would come and go to the zoo and leave, or go downtown for a little while and leave. But now, with the trails and other venues, you're able to stay in Sanford for the entire day. You can enjoy Fort Mellon Park. You can go to the zoo. You can go downtown. You can go to our marina. We also have carefree boats there, where you can hop on a boat, and you don't need to own a boat. And so there are many things to explore and take a look at. And the best thing about it is you're not in your car.
Right.
You're not in your car. You don't have to get in and out of your car
Yeah.
and go to another venue. You can do the walking. So the walkability score of downtown Sanford was greatly increased. So we're above the 70 mark in our downtown corridor.
Yeah.
So the benefits of these trails are great, and that's one of them. It takes cars off our streets. It allows, because we want people, not the cars. So the cities, and when you're starting to do more urban planning, creating parks, creating pocket parks, and the city right now is creating one of a fantastic downtown pocket park, which is called Artisan Square. And it is going to have great artwork in it as well. It's a place to relax. The Parks Department right now is installing a downtown restroom facility for there. So that's greatly needed in the downtown.
Right.
And you could enjoy that and stroll up and down there. So the trails actually benefit a lot, and it helps for clean air. There's less pollution. There's less accidents. Less cars on the road. It becomes more enjoyable.
Right.
Yeah, and they're connectors. Whether you come and park downtown and then walk our trails, or you come down the river on a boat. We have day slips. They can come in and park at the day slip.
Right.
Come out, get on the trail, walk the trail. We're very convenient to the downtown area. They can come down, have lunch for the day, go do their walking, have lunch.
Yeah.
Little smoothie shops down along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've noticed several employees at the hospital coming out there to stand on the Riverwalk and underneath the trellises and have their lunch.
Right.
And get away, relax a little
And
bit.
patients.
Right.
Actually,
Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
patients
That's
down
true.
there.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we have seen some of the patients.
So, and there was one of the questions and concerns that we received was, well, why aren't there more trees along the segment of old US 1792? And that's because we have MOT and Green Book type highway design clearance.
Wait, what's MOT?
Maintenance of traffic
Okay.
and greenway, the Green Book standards basically for designing roads. We still have to design the roads just like DOT. We follow the same requirements. So there's a clear zone requirements.
Okay.
So we were only allowed to add a few trees along on the Riverwalk side. It's a very constrained right of way.
Okay.
So on that section right there, there is not as many trees as there are in the downtown urban setting. So
Right.
on a hot day, I suggest, bring plenty of water.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Take your time. Don't overdo it.
Right.
And we also have a new bike station and a rest area.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And there's a restroom going in also.
Restroom going in. It'll be open soon once
Yeah.
the power's turned on.
Yeah.
But it's a good rest stop there. You could park and enjoy your
the
day.
county's working with doing improvements. They're going to end up having a trailhead.
Yeah.
I believe it's still on for the I-4 or along the I-4 corridor there.
Okay,
So we've
closer
got
to
a
the zoo
connection.
section.
Well, once you get to I-4, there's a section now that we have a divider lane. You can actually from Wayside Park connect on over, cross now. So that's finally connected.
Okay, now
So
explain where is that?
That is connected at I-4 and Seminole Boulevard up by the zoo. So that
Okay.
connection is complete now.
So
One of the new sections at DOT and the county are looking at is a way to get from our Sunrail station to our downtown.
okay.
So they're working on those gap sections now
okay.
to get you across those tracks safely.
Right, and so you hear that, folks. That's the state of Florida Department of Transportation.
Department of Transportation
works with the city
and the
'cause
county.
and the county because it's in our city, in our county. However,
Right.
And all of our municipalities are working on multimodal projects, whether
Right.
it's the county, the city, the state.
okay.
And a lot of these connect together and make it more accessible for people that don't drive
Right.
or like to bike and go to
Right.
these facilities.
right.
So if you don't like to bike a long way, but you want to bring your bike down and bike Riverwalk, you can get on the Sunrail, put your bike on there, get off the Sunrail,
Right.
and then make a
Yeah.
connection to Riverwalk and ride Riverwalk.
Through the Terwilliger Trail.
Terwilliger Trail, you're
Right.
right. It was a Terwilliger family that actually had a farm right there.
Okay.
So the Terwilliger family, there's a wonderful plaque
Okay.
that tells the entire story of the family about midway on Terwilliger. It's not a very long trail,
Right.
but that's where the farm was.
Okay.
And it's a good
Talks about
connector.
that. And it's a great connector, and it's actually become also a dog walk. So there's a lot of
Yes.
residents that live right there, and they are walking on that. And Robert is working. He has pet bags and stuff
Oh,
along
okay.
those way. And
Yeah, see, that's what's another thing because we are a dog-friendly, pet-friendly city, and so we even have a paw park. Right, we have a dog park. That's so you can make it a day.
Yep.
Bring your dogs out.
It's an off-leash park.
It's an off-leach park. Now, do we? I wanted to mention a couple things about the Seminole Boulevard and the Riverwalk. We have those utility box art wrap. So there's
Right.
art being, installed over there, and we're also purchasing a new sculptures as well. So not only do you see, you have the health and wellness aspect of it, but you have the aesthetic of art on this on the walk as well. And so it's really all your senses, your visual with the beautiful sunsets and
Well,
sunrises.
yeah, and even those sports-minded people, once this connection's done with Seminole County, you'll be able to go ride around Lake Monroe, 27 miles,
right.
which is a great venue for bike riding,
Yeah.
for marathons, which
Yeah.
the city's been ever since this has been in fruition. We've been getting phone calls. Hey, when's this going to be done? We'd like to do a marathon around Lake Monroe.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of activity and interest in this new development coming through.
Yeah, I mean, so that just goes to show you that this is just one more thing. Can we talk a little bit more about the Goldsboro Trail and kind of like where that goes and how that is part of the whole big picture too?
Well, like Terwilliger Trail is considered one of our micro trails.
Okay.
Riverwalk would be certainly our macro type trails, but it actually gets into the communities. It's a little bit more difficult to traverse in some of the older communities to find a way to get through there.
Yeah, the initial plan for this trail was to connect several neighborhoods and to be able to connect the Goldsboro area to the downtown area. Future plans are to hopefully finish that connection to the downtown area. One of our main plights of getting that trail down there is we need a pedestrian pathway across 1792.
Okay.
Which is a very expensive endeavor So,
Oh, I see.
So it requires an overpass, basically.
Oh, does it?
Yes. The
Yes.
DOT wants an overpass for either that one or at the rails.
Okay, because
But this is very important to know. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that the listeners understand when you're on a multi-use trail, though, be careful with your bike. Be careful of walkers as well. But when you get downtown now, don't think you can ride on our downtown sidewalks with a bike. You cannot.
Okay.
And there's a great reason for that, and it certainly is safety. People coming in and out of stores. So really just be on the trails with your bike, or you need to be in the road. Now, when
Okay.
you're in a road, a bike is considered an automobile. So it
Okay.
needs to follow. But be safe out there.
Right,
Yeah.
that's a great point.
yeah, you have to obey the road rules, even if you're just out doing daily riding in your
Yeah.
neighborhood. You're considered a vehicle.
Right.
Yeah. Now we do have bike racks throughout the city, right? So if you're bringing your bike down here and you want to park it, lock it up, you can do that,
Right,
and
right.
they're located all around our city, correct?
Robert is trying to strategically locate those and really good hot spots where the bike riders are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got different varieties of them. We have several that we call hitch and post, and we've
Okay.
gone with a few direct decorative style that will have like the city logo in them. They're
Right.
half hoops.
Right. Right.
They look more like decorations, but they're bike racks.
of course.
And,
Yeah.
and just getting people to know they're there and able to park them, and it gives them a location that's secure to the area that they want to go shopping or go to a restaurant for lunch for the day.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know it's in the plans. It's one of our things to do is to create some kind of, online. We have all this information online, but like some kind of brochure where people can use a QR code or something like that and see where they're at, find out where our bike, what would you call them? Bike locks are, or
Stations.
bike stations are at. You know what I think would be really great too that we could do down the road is list where your dog fountains are along the Riverwalk, because I know when I take my dog out, you're responsible for your own pets, but
Right.
it's nice to know that the city or whatever entity is providing water for your animals, and that's just a nice, and people.
It is.
So it's a nice thought.
We have
but
a couple of bike shops.
And bike shops,
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
brought in that new venue that we didn't have, new business.
yeah, that's exactly
opportunity.
true. And so this is just another function, service
Right.
of government, a local government, that it doesn't happen by, osmosis. It is something that people work very hard behind, our planners. And also we have, almost every city has a parks department, parks team, because this is just a service of local government, is to provide those opportunities for health and wellness. And I know the city of Sanford invests in that.
Right,
you
and
know?
that's what, that's one of the things about urban planning and some of the advances that have been made. And I've encouraged Robert, his staff, my staff as well as our commissioners. Please go out and look at the other cities, see what they're doing. And one of the inventive things that I saw in a city was they actually took a car spot downtown, and all it was bike racks just for bikes. Now, if you think about it, we were able to get 20 customers right there with their bikes versus one in a car.
Right.
So the businesses, and actually the one right there where the bike rack was in that space, they loved it.
Yeah.
Because there's 20 customers that just came right in front of their store.
Right. And that's a great, not just even, and also not just bike riding. We're talking about walking. Walking is
Walking.
extremely healthy for you, and no matter what
Get out of
age,
your car.
running, get out of your car. Walkability. That's
Right.
that's the big picture here, right?
And it also,
Chris?
yes, it is, and it's safety too.
You started this episode
So,
talking
slowing
about
the
that.
traffic down, getting the people there safely,
Yeah.
walking, and just
Well,
having
like,
a good time.
Yeah, and when we talk about bringing your family and your pets, when we talk about pets, whether it be on sidewalks, trails, think about safety. Asphalt can get very hot, well over 120 degrees. Your dogs won't tell you, hey, my feet are burning.
No, I know.
So, hey, walk them on the grass. It's right
walk
next door.
Walk them on the grass. Wear
Dog
dog
boots.
socks. Dog
Yeah.
boots.
Hey, maybe
Dog
that's a promo item we should think about
Yeah.
getting.
Sanford dog socks.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but
So
that's
you got
right,
to come
Robert.
up with some logo dogs.
There you go.
That's cute. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else that we want to say, Chris and Robert, about just the trails and what's
Well,
coming up? What about the future of what
There are
we're?
a couple of concepts that we're looking at. We're learning now that, with the affordability of Florida, sometimes the people are liking to live, and people want, the denser living is becoming downtown. So they really don't want the expense of a car. So they're actually walking to their job, or they're actually taking some of our transit mobility units that we have. Remember we have the links that goes east and west, and north and south. We also have our free trolleys. And again, the bike rides and trails, and there are some people that do not drive.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at a concept one down from Reinhardt down to St. John's.
Okay.
So there's a Reinhardt County trail there, but we're looking at an east-west connector trail within that industrial area where there are very, very little sidewalks, but there are a lot of workers.
Right.
And they love using those trails and getting to their job. So
Yeah.
they would rather a trail than being on that busy industrial road there. So we are
Right.
looking at a concept trail there as we speak.
Okay. So that's good. That's good. Robert, any?
No, I mean, as we grow, we look at multimodal all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Cars, trucks, trains, trails.
Yeah.
And
You have a lot of summer programs here in Sanford. You have the new park, the Jeff Triplett playing fields. You also have the West Side Center. And
Right.
during the summer, those kids and students can get on those trails and ride to their camp.
Yeah.
Baseball
that's super
camp
cool.
or
And we have tons of neighborhood parks.
tons
too.
of neighborhood parks.
When I
Robert
mean
has
tons-
some
we
fantastic.
have 28 parks in the city.
28
so
parks.
come
So
in-
stay
come in-
tuned.
Come and enjoy.
Stay
our park.
tuned,
Yeah.
and he's really put some interactive ones in there. They're very, very
Yeah.
unique, so it's
Yeah,
very
and-
fun.
exactly, and that's what I wanted to mention too, because not only on these trails we have historic storyboards, right?
You have
A lot of the
storyboards.
lot of the sidewalks have that about
Correct,
Sanford.
and,
We're a
you know,
historic city.
And Robert right now is redoing the Memorial Park plaques, which
Yes.
is telling all the war stories and the conflicts
Well,
that
we
we've had.
we have a few venues. We're also working with our EEI group,
Which is Race Equity, Equality, Inclusion.
yeah,
Right.
And
Committee.
what they're looking to do is give a lot more of the Black history
Right.
in town, and putting those throughout. So it's definitely a way of learning about the city as a whole.
Yeah.
Right, and then don't forget, Georgetown actually has a segment of trail on Sanford Avenue running from 6th Street all the way up to 1st Street.
Right.
And it even, you can keep on going to the Riverwalk.
That's right.
But along that trail itself, it talks about some of our Black history and cultural
Yes.
that we have down there. So read those interpretive plaques.
Right.
You'll see a little makeshift type steeple, and that was basically a remnant of what some of the churches that were in there. So there's some really good artwork on that steeple of stained
Yeah.
glass. You have one of the original stained glass on the windows on there, over 100 years old, and the other one is a brand new one from an artist.
Yeah.
So take a look at those, so keeping these trails interesting and eclectic is what you want. We don't want them boring and
Right.
the same.
Yeah,
so.
and to learn about our history, you can read those signs, and to put a plug in, you can visit our historic Sanford Museum.
That's
Right.
right there.
Yeah.
Which gives you a lot of great information, and the ladies down there do a lot to promote the city and give you a lot of history. And
Yeah.
Right.
they'll do speaking events.
Yeah.
When you
So-
come here on a train, boat, a plane, automobile to Sanford, and you can see a lot of things other than Disney World.
That's right.
So Florida and Sanford has a lot more to offer.
Right.
So you can come and take a look. Take a
and,
rest.
and we're just beginning.
We're
and
just
so
beginning.
we are just beginning. And so, it's not only a place to come and have a wonderful time. We know that downtown Sanford and get your groove on the weekends and
That's
things
it.
like that. But there's art here, there's culture, there's health and wellness things, there's
Sport
beautiful
venues.
nature. There's what?
Venues.
Sport
venues.
Absolutely.
Our historic stadium.
There's the stadium. There's all kinds of things. So take a look at our website, sanfordfl.gov. We have a lot of information on our website. We also follow us on social media. Listen to this podcast. Share with your friends. We'll be back more often as we get back into the swing of things. Our 4th of July event just happened. It's summertime. It is hot out there. It's Florida, but we're still 24/7 the city of Sanford. But we'll be providing more information on this podcast, and we could talk for a long time. We could have a TV show,
That's
an hour,
I kind of
sitcom.
want to stick with the radio.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I have a face built for radio. Let's stick to that.
but it's a pleasure, gentlemen, for you to join us. They're both extremely busy, integral employees to the city of Sanford with so much knowledge, and I appreciate you taking your time to share your insight with the communications office, and so we can get this information out to the public, because it's for you, the listeners. What we do each and every day is for you, and if you don't know what we're doing, then it wouldn't make sense. So we appreciate you listening. Any last words?
No, thank you. Thank you for letting us be here.
All right, wonderful.
Please visit.
This is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. Thank you for tuning in and listening to Sanford Says. We'll be back next time with another great topic about your city government and just what the city services are for you and how you can access them. Appreciate you listening. You can find this podcast wherever you subscribe to your favorite podcast and on the city website at sanfordfl.gov. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye for now.